It's Monday, August 17th. Welcome aboard to this edition of Barnstable Today. I'm Kevin Friel.
And I'm Andrew Gobiel. Thank you very much for joining us on this 17th day of August, which is also my mom's birthday. Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday. We'd like to remind you right at the top that the meetings we cover are available on demand at the town's website. You can check them out at www.town.barnstable.ma.us.
You may have a little bit of difficulty hearing us today. Right now it's relatively quiet, but we are situated on top of the terminal at the third busiest airport in all of Massachusetts. Of course, the Barnstable Municipal Airport, owned and operated by the town of Barnstable. It's an enterprise account. We had an opportunity to speak just a moment ago with Bud Brielt, who is relatively new at his position as airport manager, talking about a number of different issues, how busy it is, the recent visit of Vice President Joe Biden here to the airport, and obviously the planning for a new terminal. As mentioned just a moment ago, this is one of the most interesting locations we've ever done Barnstable Today, at top of the terminal here at Barnstable Municipal Airport, joined by the airport manager, Bud Brielt. Mr. Brielt, thank you very much. How are you today?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, thank you. A very busy week last week, obviously,
yes,
with Vice President Joe Biden here. How was that, dealing with the federal government and everything? It must have been rather interesting and chaotic, I would imagine.
A little chaotic, very interesting. And of course, we had the Secret Service here, and the state police and the regular police, fire department, all of our crew. We did a wonderful job, and I think everything went off without a hitch.
Very good, no complaints. That's fantastic. Well, one of the reasons we're here right now, and you may want to keep in mind, obviously, that this is the second busiest airport in the state, which is amazing. So we're going to hear aircraft coming in and out during the entire interview process. We'll try and keep it as loud as possible so that you can hear what's going on. First, right now, how have the operations been going this summer? I mean, obviously the summer is going to be the busiest time for you.
So the busiest time, but this year has been off. We're down about 20% on operations. However, you couldn't tell about this month. This month has been really good, really busy. I think we saw more jet traffic in the last week than we've seen in a long time.
As we continue to try and do this right now, this is fantastic because, of course, this just manifests how busy it is. We've got some of the aircraft coming in as we sit here and try and conduct this interview. Now, you said a moment ago we were down 20% this year.
Right. So I think it's because of the economy, and the weather really hasn't been that great this summer. So, so our airport operations are down.
Now, the fact that this is, and I'm amazed to hear this all the time, Barnstable Municipal Airport is the second busiest airport?
We're actually the third.
Third busiest airport in the state, behind Logan, of course, and...
Nantucket.
And Nantucket.
Nantucket is second, we're third.
Really? Now, I mean, are there any numbers that we can take a look at? How many flights in do we have on a daily basis?
We have, no, I don't know about daily, but we run about 120,000 airport operations, which are flights a year. When we're running just shy of 200,000 passengers departing, in other words, enplanements. Coming back in is just slightly less than that for deplaning passengers. So 400,000 or slightly less than that on an average.
So somebody taking a look at this and saying, you know, it's owned by the town,
right?
But they never fly out of here. They never utilize the airport. They are affected. Town residents are affected by the airport itself. I mean, it brings people in. It improves the economy. It helps us in our tourist destination. Correct?
Correct. I call it an economic engine for the community.
Very good. So in addition to that, we've got what's going on right now. As I said, we're standing on top of the terminal, a terminal that is how old?
50 years.
50 years. So we're secure right now for the time being.
Well, you feel it moving a little bit.
I do feel it moving a little bit when the planes come by, right. Exactly. So in the process, perhaps, of getting a new one built, how important is it that we do get a new terminal built?
I think it's very important because the current terminal is outdated. It doesn't meet code. It's impossible to handle the load sometimes that we have going in and out of here. So really, it's an antiquated facility, and it's in violation of the FAA space requirements, because we're what they call a Part 77 violation. Part of the terminal intrudes into this airspace that is supposed to be safe for aircraft around the runway. So we really need to move it back. And as you know, we had to do some redesigning because we were over budget. We had two cost estimates, one from our architects and one from our construction manager at risk, and we're trying to consolidate those two and come up with one cost estimate that we can present to the Terminal Building Subcommittee and to the Airport Commission for resolution. And once we feel that we're solidly within budget, then we'll move forward into construction drawings.
Sure.
So the next phase of the project, and continue with the design, and then before we can go out to bid,
sure,
I will have to go back to the town council and get approval from them to move forward.
Sure. And I would imagine that the funding mechanism most likely would be a bond issue. Is that?
Well, part of it's a bond. We have a $15 million grant from the Massachusetts Aeronautics Commission. We have $3.3 million coming out of our reserves. $3.2 million bond that we're asking the town council to approve, and which we would pay for with our revenues that we generate. As you know, we're an enterprise fund, so we have to be fully self-sustaining out of our own revenues. We take no money from the taxpayers whatsoever for this whole project.
I bet this is going to be kind of a nice challenge to have, though. The fact that you are, you know, we're an enterprise fund, it's a challenge for you, but you are self-sustaining.
Right, 100% self-sustaining. Everything that we do here is fully paid for by fees, sales of fuel and things like that. So we depend on the town for nothing. Or if we do get services from the town, we in fact pay for those services.
Very good. So we continue to do that as well, and again, it's this economic engine. It's also one of the largest employers. Not only are we one of the busiest areas, but it's one of the largest employers in the town.
Well, the airport itself doesn't have that many employees. We have 26 people plus some seasonal employees that we do everything 24/7, 365 days a year. I think we have a phenomenal staff that people just don't realize what they do. For instance, when the vice president came in, we brought in almost a full staff in order to be able to handle the load, plus all the jet traffic that came in for all those dignitaries that were coming in. We called in nobody else. We did it all ourselves. Plus the fact now, when you look at the other businesses that are co-located here on the airport grounds, all the employees that they have. Just for example, Cape Air employs a company nationally, internationally. There's over 700 employees with Cape Air. About 300 of them are based here at Hyannis. That's a huge factor to consider on the economic importance of what we do here at the airport.
So I would imagine, I mean, this is a wonderful example of, you know, a public institution working with private industry to succeed economically.
Right. Okay. Perfect.
Perfect. All right. We couldn't put it any better. That's fantastic. So we're standing there right now. We actually have an airport commission meeting coming up in a few days. Anything you know, major to be addressed in that agenda? Although I would imagine the entire agenda is major. As far as
right now we just have a couple of contracts that we're working on, and we're also working on the terminal project itself. So we usually do a terminal subcommittee meeting prior to the commission meeting, and then we'll be presenting anything that comes up there to the full commission, such as if we were ready, we would be asking them for a notice to proceed to the next level of design.
Now, in an ideal situation, we've got another one of these beautiful jets taxiing out just behind us. In an ideal situation right now, what is the timeline? I mean, the next time we do an interview with you, might we be standing on a secure roof?
Yeah, I hope it will be before that. But if everything works right, we're hoping to go before the town council in November, December. If everything works at the town council and the budgets are approved, then we would be able to award the construction bids, and we are hoping to get a shovel in the ground January, February, which would be for two projects. Would be the terminal project and for the airport access road. Both of them would be at the same time. The airport access road itself would take about 4 or 5 months for construction. The terminal is about, right now it's estimated at 14 months for construction.
Once again, Airport Manager Bud Briel allowing us on top of the building, which he says for now is secure.
Let's take a look at the meeting schedule for the upcoming week. On Tuesday, August 18th, the Barnstable Housing Committee has a meeting at 8 a.m. in the Selectmen's Conference Room.
There's a joint meeting of the Water Pollution Control and Public Works Commission at 3:30 on Tuesday at the DPW Conference Room.
Then the Airport Commission has a meeting at 6 p.m. at the airport.
A Conservation Commission hearing set for 6:30 at the hearing room in Town Hall on Tuesday.
Then on Wednesday, August 19th, the amnesty hearings for the Accessory Affordable Apartment Program take place at 6 p.m. in the Town Hall hearing room.
The Zoning Board of Appeals hearing takes place at 7 o'clock in the hearing room at Town Hall.
The Hyannis Main Street Waterfront Historic District Commission meets at 7 o'clock in the Selectmen's Conference Room.
And the Shellfish Committee meeting takes place at 7:30 at the MEA Conference Room over on Finney's Lane. Once again, it's a list of the meetings going on. For more information on the meetings and for many of the meetings that we cover, you can just check them out on the website, town.barnstable.ma.us. For Kevin Friel, I'm Andrew Bobio. Thank you very much for joining us.